I already know what's going to happen. The difference between me and you is that you need to see to believe. I first of all believe and then I see. That's the difference between us.
Did you have faith maybe back then that your time would come and that you would be able to explode onto the scene as you had?
If I didn't, it wouldn't have happened. I had to believe in it. I had to feel it. I had to have faith in it for it to happen. So you're damn right I did.
Well, I think the law of attraction and manifesting are the same things.
Okay, so how do you get there?
If I build an image of myself as being prosperous, I can become prosperous. If I can build an image of something in my mind, I'm quite capable of building a physical replica of it in my world.
If you can see it here, and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen. So I see these shots, I see these sequences, and I don't shy away from them.
I first of all believe and then I see. So I don't have any doubts that I will be the first one to knock you out. And I don't even want you to trust in that, because if you're starting to trust in what I'm saying, you don't want to show up, and I need you to show up.
You lived up to your promise to be the first person to knock out Max Holloway.
I call this because I knew it. It's a surprise for a lot of people, but for me, it's like I knew it. I said it and I did it.
Power of the mind, I can make things happen. I can go into levels, I just can't tell the world, but like there's levels that like I've manifested things that I'm just like, I still shock myself, like how the f make that happen?
And the bounce off the fence, it felt like I just went, so I bounced off the fence and hit the ground, and that one from heaven. And I already visualized it in the shower. You already saw it? And I did it backstage, so when I got up, see, I didn't even hesitate, like I didn't celebrate and then come back. And I just got off straight away. I was like, because you know, this thing is the hours. Yes. And people said I did 3 hours because he beat me 3 times. I don't know, it's just a maybe subconscious thing. So I just
and this is through this like manifesting subconsciously as well. Just years of something just manifesting, and boom, it's right there. I'm just like, shit, I really made that happen.
That's the thing about your celebrations. Yeah. I already know you've done it somewhere else, because no one that I've ever seen, the way you celebrate in that moment. Yeah. You already visualized what you were going to do, because when you beat him, it happened so fast when you started pulling for those arrows. I was like, that's sick.
I'm a professional MMA fighter with a record of 4-1. I'm an up-and-coming fighter, and without a doubt, you will see me on the UFC in the near future. I was a plumber. I was an apprentice plumber. I did a year in that. So it just wasn't for me, you know. It's either all or nothing in the game. I mean, you have to. If you're not training twice a day, if you're not dedicated, you're not going to go anywhere. So I will be where I want to be. I'm 100% confident that I will make it to the top. I have the skills, I have the dedication, and it's something I really, really want. So words can't even describe, but it will happen, and I'll let you know when it happens.
Conor, in February of 2013, we spoke for the first time. You didn't have a car, you didn't have a pot to piss in. All you had were blueberries. Now here you are with the undisputed gold. Enjoy it, my friend. You deserve it. You called it.
Yeah, from nothing to something to everything. So that's where I am right now.
They need to see things to believe. Me, I first of all believe and then I see it.
But the fact that you called your shot, right? The whole time you said, I'm going to knock him out in the first round. Was anybody around you maybe saying like, bro, like, calm down a little bit. We're moving up. This is Charles Oliveira. You don't have to say first round.
Everyone around me knew it, that I would do it. Everyone knew it.
Very nice.
A lot of times people believe in certain things, but they keep to themselves. They don't put it out there. If you truly believe in it, if you become vocal with it, you are creating that law of attraction, and it will become reality.
I believe that when you know where you're going and you know what you want, the universe has a way of stepping aside for you.
Self-talk and visualization are 2 keys to my success.
Manifesting is real. When you figure out who you are and what you want to do, and you devote your life to it, and you manifest, most of these people end up, doing what they say they're going to do and being who they say they're going to become.
I believe that when you know where you're going and you know what you want, the universe has a way of stepping aside for you.
Self-talk and visualization are 2 keys to my success.
Van Gogh, the great artist, was asked one time how he did such beautiful work. He said, I dream my painting, and then I paint my dream.
I became obsessed with the power of the mind. meditation, visualization, and just realizing how powerful our minds actually are, like how we really do paint our world with our thoughts and our level of self-belief.
Law of attraction. You attract according to the vibration you're in.
For everybody who has not read The Secret, is simply your thoughts become things.
If we used our body like we used our mind, we'd probably just move our little finger.
There's a lot of you that are confusing wishing for something with manifesting. Okay, they're the opposite ends of the spectrum.
I'm able to visualize and dream like nobody's business. And I know that I can create a vision that many people can't. I started being able to take negative shit and be happy. That dreamer mentality just would always fuel me.
Everything is possible in your life when you believe.
You see, the thoughts that you think control the vibration that you're in. Vibration is nothing but an idea, and it's the thoughts that you're thinking that you impress upon your subconscious mind that control the vibration the body's in, and that dictates how you act, but it also dictates what you attract.
How much of your waking day do you put your attention on matter, on the material world, and how much of your waking day are you aware of energy and frequency? For most people, they're unaware of the quantum field, and if you're unaware of it, it doesn't exist for you.
The shaman said, build the ditches, dig the ditches for the rain. They said, there is no rain. Dig the ditches and the rain will come. Now you non-believers may say, oh, that's nonsense. Well, believe what you want. That's the rational mind. I don't think the rational mind is working too well at the moment.
It's an unwavering faith. Like, it don't matter how fucked up that shit might look. It don't matter how much it feel like it ain't gonna work. Delusion. Complete delusion. You gotta believe the delusion. Because it's only delusional until it works. So is it really delusional?
Nah. I feel confident because I'm the best player in the world. It's simple.
No one would do this shit. You're the baddest motherfucker around. You're the baddest motherfucker ever lived. And I kept fueling me with the right kind of message that I needed to hear that I was never telling myself. And through time, it became reality.
It's the irrational mind, subconscious. All my life, when I was a little boy, I dreamed of where I am now. I may have had a vision, I don't know. Didn't have much hope, but everything happened for me. Now I believe. Whatever you want to do, believe it, believe it, believe it, even if you don't believe. Play the game of belief. Act as if you believe. That is power.
So this is what's going to happen with Charles. He thinks that he has some opportunities, but the reality is that he has not. The only thing he has to do is like show up, and I'm going to do the rest.
And it's not that if I'm going to win the belt, I'm going to do it. I'm going to knock him out in the first round.
I'm going to finish him in the first round. He walks forward. This is all I need. Time that takes me always to knock out my opponents is the time that takes me to close the distance, because they run away. And once I close the distance and I go with my combinations, I knock them out. Like, just try to stay in the middle of the octagon. You are not going to see me coming.
Convince myself all the time. In everything I do, I'm the best. So that was like talking to myself. And I think normal life, everything starts there. I cannot tell you you're the best. You have to convince yourself first that you're the best.
You know, I always dreamed as a kid that, you know, it was possible to score 80 or 90 or 100. I always just like, you know, had a dream. You know, like sometimes you lay down in bed and you visualize things. And you just kind of, you know, that's at least how I would go to sleep. I'd lay down, I'd imagine playing for the Lakers, and I would imagine what the uniforms look like. I'd imagine where we'd be playing, and, you know, the smell of the arena and all sorts of stuff. And I would see myself, you know, getting hot, you know, and score 10 straight points. And then, but in a dream, like, why would you ever interrupt that? Like, you're not going to have a dream and be like, okay, then he misses his next 6. Like, it's not going to happen. So you just keep dreaming and dreaming and dreaming. And before I go to sleep, I'm like at 120 points, you know?
You'll never know the limits of your possibilities until you charter the waters of the impossible. Everyone wants to be the lawyer, wants to be the doctor, wants to be the inspiration, wants to be someone of principle. No one wants to be forgotten. You can't always be the pupil. You gotta be the master. You gotta be the guy that's creating the material for others to try to study from. You can't always ask a question. You're asking a question because you don't believe.
I have been feeling like the UFC world champion since the day I arrived here.
When I was a kid, I used to always visualize stadiums and like Even when I was playing football, I'd kick the ball against the wall and I'd pretend I scored a goal, and I'd run off and I'd be raising my hand and visualizing a arena full of fans. And that was something I'd done as a kid out on my own. I like just running around kicking the ball. So I always had these visions of something, but I just didn't know what it was.
You attract what you feel, what you are, what you attract. What's on your mind? Yes,
It's like
exactly.
the law of physics. I don't know how anybody can disagree with that. It's ask any physicist, they'll tell you that it's true.
As a neuroscientist, what do you attribute when people talk about visualization? It's a huge factor in improving technical skills.
Just the act of physical visualization, of sort of imagination of that motor skill, it's about 50% as effective as physically performing it too. And it's 50% as effective, what I mean there is, in changing the plastic connections within the brain.
Whoa.
So even just visualization, passive play, as it were, still can actually cause a rewiring of the brain beneficially.
You could study all kinds of science and they'll tell you there is this invisible field of frequency and energy that exists beyond the senses that tend to connect everything physical and material. In fact, everything physical and material is connected to this field.
I believe we should start to think and build images in our mind of what we'd like to do and then set out and do it. And what we have to study, I think, is how does this non-physical part of my mind work? What happens when I think? Where do thoughts come from? How was this chair built? Somebody had to think. Thoughts are everywhere, and we pull thoughts into our mind and we build pictures or images in our mind. It's the non-physical side of ourself that's doing that. If I can build an image of something in my mind, I'm quite capable of building a physical replica of it in my world. So if I build an image of me as a happy, relaxed person, I can live like that. If I build an image of myself as being prosperous, I can become prosperous.
They found that there was a frequency that made people vibrate 400 times more powerful than the vibrational frequency of love. Authenticity is the key to everything. And if you can do things authentically, you win the game. So, like, are you being a liar? Well, you know when you're supposed to go to the supposed to go and you don't go. You know when you're supposed to sit down and read that article or that book or listen to that thing and you don't do it, and you know you're supposed to. You're not being authentic with yourself because you want something, but your actions say something else. And your mindset and your actions need to be aligned.
Geez, I better start thinking for myself rather than follow everybody. Most people, they get a job, they look around, they see how everybody else is doing their work, and they start doing it the same way. They should stop and think, I wonder if any of these people know what they're doing. Just fall into line, take a number, be like everybody around. That'd be great in the animal kingdom, but human beings aren't supposed to live that way. I think we should make a few waves. We should maybe stand out, be different, not for the sake of being different, but because we are different. We all think different thoughts. And if you think about this, it doesn't make a lot of sense, because if you study statistics, 95% of the people live their entire life and never live the way they want to live.
Find your vision and follow it. You see, I think it's the most important thing that we have a very clear vision of where we go.
It's a perception of reality that's stronger than the reality itself. And that perception doesn't exist. It's not something tangible you put your hand on. How you see it is a lot different than what the reality actually is. In that sense, your perception of who you are is a stronger reality, judgment, than the actual reality.
We become what we think about most of the time, and that's the strangest secret. This is why thinking is so vital. This is why a goal is so important, because we will become that. This is why people who set goals achieve them.
Anything you say with the words I am, your subconscious will then take that as a command.
You need a combination of stubborn relentlessness and flexibility. And you have to know when to be which. And basically you need to be stubborn on your vision, because otherwise it'll be too easy to give up. But you need to be very flexible on the details, because as you go along pursuing your vision, you'll find that some of your preconceptions were wrong. And you're going to need to be able to change those things.
And they talk about manifesting. It's real, man. Manifesting is real. When you figure out who you are and what you want to do, and you devote your life to it like a maniac, like you're all in on this thing, and you manifest, most of these people end up, doing what they say they're going to do and being who they say they're going to become. It's real.
Who knows? Maybe it's fate, or maybe it's that. Maybe it's just that I believed. You know, I always believed.
You have a clear, if you have a clear picture in your head of something is gonna happen, clear belief in that it will happen no matter what, and nothing can stop it. You know what I mean? It is destined to happen, and that's what happens. You know what I mean? It's perfect.
Everything comes from the imagination. Everything comes from before this microphone was a microphone. Someone somehow thought about it. You know, how can I speak into something that would amplify my voice and blah 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 blah, and then this came out of it.
And I'm really big on visualization. And people might think it's all kind of bullshit. Believe what the you want. In my mind, I said, okay, I want to look like this, I want to feel like this, and I want to have a mind that is cast iron steel. That was the biggest thing I wanted. I wanted to hit obstacles that most people up, including myself, but I didn't waver. I didn't fear. I didn't run away. I just stayed and marinated in the fear, in the suffering. And through that, building Goggins, I will become Goggins when necessary. I started putting that visualization of the guy I wanted to create. And in that water, when things got hard, when I was training on my own, Goggins would appear. Goggins would appear. When David Goggins would come up, Goggins would smack him the fuck down. And that's kind of how it happened. Over a period of time, this man evolved. Goggins became the guy that can withstand all kind of torture and pain and keep coming after you.
Whether I'm talking to high school kids or business executives, my message is always the same. And it goes like this. The only way it gets better for you is when you get better.
You can't solve the problems in your life with the same information that caused the problems in the first place. You need new information. So you need to become a new person. You become a new person by what? Adopting wisdom, transforming your mind.
I'm firmly convinced if a person doesn't understand a paradigm is nothing but a multitude of habits. They're programmed into your subconscious mind to control your behavior. And until you change the program, nothing's going to change.
I wish I could get in shape. That just makes you feel more out of shape. I wish I could win the lottery. That just makes you feel poorer. I wish I didn't have to work for this jerk. That just makes you feel more stuck. When you wish that you were financially free, have you ever noticed that the second that you wish for something, you're also present, the fact that you're lacking money right now. And that's very different than manifesting.
All beliefs are based on past experiences. So you have an experience where you lose money, you have an experience where money's taken away from you, have an experience where you don't have enough. Then the emotion that most people are living by on a moment-to-moment basis is lack. So the body is saying, I'm waiting for some external event to occur. I win the lottery, I marry the right guy, whatever it is, that you're waiting for that event to occur.
I used to say, I sure hope things will change. That seemed to be my only hope. If it isn't going to change, I'm in serious trouble. And then I discovered it isn't going to change, so I'm in serious trouble. It gets light and then what? It turns dark. 6,500 years. See, it's not likely to change. The man says, well, if it isn't going to change, how will my life ever change? Answer, when you change.
When you hope for things, when you wish for things, you are handing the power to somebody else or to outside forces. You are literally giving away your power because hoping and wishing just inherently assumes that somebody else is somehow going to come in and solve the problem. We all know that that's not happening.
You think you're going to get more money. You think your relationship is going to improve. You think you're going to get promoted. You think you're going to get a raise. You think the world is going to get better without you doing anything. But it isn't. Nothing is going to change unless you change what you're doing.
If we give power to circumstance, then we cast power outside of ourselves. If we give power to other people, we cast power outside of ourselves. It's controlling the controlled.
It changed my paradigm through the repetition of listening to records.
Why do some people do so well in life, while so many more do not? Attitude. It is our attitude toward life which will determine life's attitude toward us.
The evidence of their story being truer than yours, then it's like a frame control. That frame now wins, and that becomes the new lens that you see everything through.
Study. Great word. If you wish to be successful, study success. If you wish to be happy, study happiness. If you wish to be wealthy, study wealth. Don't leave it to chance. There isn't anything an idea can't change. And Shoaff taught me the major problem is lack of an idea. At first I didn't have any money. I said to Mr. Shoaff, I don't have any money. He said, that's not a problem. Now see, up until then I always thought it was. Right? I was confused. No, the problem is lack of an idea on how to create money and wealth. It isn't lack of money, it's lack of ideas. So if you get the ideas, so you can change anything. Now to get ideas, you need a constant study of finding out. Make it a study. Some people just go through the day with their fingers crossed. See, that won't do it. You've got to study the things that can change your economic, social, spiritual, personal life. Now, Shoaff also said, when you find out something that works, put the information in your journal. Don't use your head for a filing cabinet. Put it in your journal so that you can do the next best thing. Repetition, repetition, repetition. Go over it. And if you repeat it, go over it, sure enough, someday, some mysterious day, the idea takes root, starts to grow, and shows up in your bank account, and your dress, and your personality, and your lifestyle.
Nearly every word that comes out of my mouth is self-hypnosis. And it's the same for everybody watching this. Every single word you speak is self-hypnosis. Every single thing you say out of your own mouth is almost more important than the things you hear from other people.
Amen.
You can't be sitting there saying, I'm depressed, I'm unlucky, bro. You can't be saying these things because you're reaffirming them within your mind.
All you have to do is change your mindset and be like, hey, you know what? Instead of looking at the situation negatively, you may look at it positively. Well, how do I do it? I don't know. Lie to yourself until you believe it, just like you lied to yourself about the negative shit.
Think of how you can and not why you can't.
Everything that you think about, you become. You become what you think about. Thoughts lead to actions. Actions lead to behaviors. Behaviors leads to lifestyle. Lifestyle determines your destiny. So everything begins in the mind.
Because the gap between where you are and where you want to go, it seems insurmountable. And so what happens based on the research is when you only visualize the end game, Lewis, it's demotivating. At first it's really fun to like have a bottle of wine and make your like collage. I'm gonna visualize, I'm gonna slap this up, there's my vision board, it's fabulous. Law of attraction, baby, come on, I'm gonna think about it, it's gonna come to me. Okay, I've been doing this for 2 days. I'm still in this apartment with the cat box that needs to be changed. The way to visualize properly is to visualize the bridge between where you are and where you need to go.
The bridge.
Yes, and particularly the horrible stuff.
If I'd have knew the path I was gonna have to take to get here, I would have changed my destiny a long time ago. Cause there's no way I would have wanted to have gone through what I went through to get to where I am today. That's why God don't reveal it to you. He shows you what it could look like, but he don't show you the route. Cause if he showed you the route, you'll turn around.
So you need to establish a goal. And then realize that for 99% of the journey from port A to port B, you're not going to see the destination. For 99% of the journey, you just have to trail the journey. But you know that you have a definite set purpose and an objective.
You want to know something? 97% of the population are being controlled by their paradigm. They're not living the way they want to live. They're not earning what they're capable of earning. They don't take the trips they want to take. You see, the trick is, if you don't take control of your paradigm, it's going to take control of you.
Ask, believe, receive. So many people overlook this very simple quality. You don't have to figure it out. That's what freezes people. When you're trying to figure out your life all the way to the end, when you can't figure it out, it freezes you from trying it because you go, oh, well, I can't figure that out. Oh, I can't go over there because I don't know how. You don't have to know how. You have to ask, believe, and receive.
And you need new information in order to behave differently. So authenticity is the name of the game. As much as it feels like it's a vulnerability factor, once you treat yourself with grace, like we were talking about in the beginning, now you enter a situation where you don't care. Because you know you're just learning and figuring it out.
The doubt of 1,000 people on me is less dangerous than if I had self-doubt.
People cap themselves. They look at somebody, and because their mind can't imagine it, they then start talking shit. He has to be doing this, or he has to be doing that. There has to be some trick. There has to be some potion. This is bullshit. No, it's because you cannot allow your mind to open up for the possibility of it can be done.
But imagine every single day, instead of saying, oh, my day sucks, instead of getting up and being like, oh, life is terrible, instead of complaining about your friends and your neighbors and your coworkers, Imagine your entire mindset was just like, it's possible to get to that next level. It's possible to be great. It's possible to make more money. It's possible to be more healthy.
The conversation, though, the most important conversation you could ever have is that conversation that takes place between your ears, right? With yourself. Like, you could sit here, and I know you never would, but if you're like, Bedros, you're going to fail at your next big business, and then you're going to fail at the one. Cool. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate your opinion, man. And then I could see the guy in my hotel who says the same thing. By the time I get home tomorrow, 1,000 people told me I'm going to fail and I'm never going to succeed. None of that will impact me. But the moment I allow any one of those seeds to take root in my mind and I go, maybe Nick's right, it's over.
You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that it's possible, because you can create your reality. The perception that you have of the world, if you think there's only scarcity, there's no opportunity, that's how you are going to interact with reality. If you think that there's abundance, if you think that there's opportunity, then these things will manifest themselves to you. So you have to believe that you can.
So didn't you write yourself a check? I heard that you did. Is that true?
I wrote myself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and I gave myself 5 years, or 3 years maybe. And I dated it Thanksgiving 1995. And I put it in my wallet and I kept it there, and it deteriorated and stuff. And so I'm kind of here to say that visualization does work. And of course now I've had to change my goals because I'm kind of getting close to that one. So
most people, they want to operate at a high vibrational frequency, attract prosperity, attract purpose, attract wealth, but their actions aren't aligned with it. So you have to act and then you'll receive. You have to do, and then the outcome will produce itself.
Just before Thanksgiving 1995, I found out that I was going to make $10 million on, I think it was Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You can't just visualize and then, go eat a sandwich.
Put the new car up on your mirror. Put the weight you want to be on the refrigerator. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand.
When you have the vision and you're able to manifest, but then you also put the work in, magic happens, man. Magic. That's where the magic is. But a lot of people never get there. Unfortunately, a lot of people, we're blessed that we can dream.
Is the thoughts alone won't achieve the things that you desire. But if you manifest properly, it will inspire you to take action. Manifesting, on the other hand, locates and amplifies the power inside of you to do the work to get those things, to do the work to change your life.
The only shortcut to life is to never miss a day. One, because of compounding interest, and two, because sometimes you get lucky. And you'll never miss a lucky day if you try every day. If you don't try every day, you might miss your lucky day.
It takes 3 weeks to develop a habit or something. It's always this hacky shit. 30 days ain't gonna do shit for you. A year, 18 months, 2 years, that's a sacrifice. And when you commit yourself to something for a year, you're not gonna say, oh, I'm gonna let that go. Because in your mind, you have it clear as day. That year took a lot out of me. That year built me.
You're going to lose sleep. You'll doubt whether it'll work. You'll stress to make ends meet. This is what hard feels like, and that's okay.
Success is not a comfortable procedure. It is a very uncomfortable thing to attempt. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever want to be successful.
It's real. And there's no excuses. There's no days off. There's no, not willing to grind and everybody's against me and this didn't happen for me because of this and that and all this whining and there's these people who dive in and they're hardcore and they're focused and they know what they want. They know who they are and they lay out these short-term goals and this roadmap on how to get there. Most of those people make it.
Set a time to train at that time. Set a time to go to sleep at that time. Set a time to get up at that time. Don't tell yourself you need to do something and then don't do it. I knew in my head I was saying, get up at this time. I didn't get up at that time. Train at this time. I didn't train at that time. Don't eat this. I ate that. Don't drink that. I drank it. And these all just infiltrate my mental strength.
Just little kind of defeats.
Exactly, little defeats instead of wins. And it just culminates into, and you just don't want to be here. So I'm just figuring myself out like I've never figured myself out before.
You just do the work and you get there. The human mind, the human body, the human psyche is so pliable. You can literally become anyone and anything. Multiply that over time and experience and don't quit even when it sucks.
We're going to use manifestation to train your mind, body, and spirit to be able to do the work.
Let's say how to make something manifest that you want. Starting very easily again. Starts with the smallest aspect. Let's just take it as the world of thoughts. I don't think there is a magic formula for this. What I know is that 100% hard work helps.
We talk about this concept of faith. People are like, you just need to believe. You need to believe that you can. Faith, without your ability to manifest it in a three-dimensional world through action, is dead. You have to create them through action. You need to materialize them with energy.
You must believe it before you physically start it. You should tell everybody what it is. You're on a path right now that you believe in. Let everybody know what's weak about you. Because that's not who you are anymore. Just by saying it. It's right there, you're publicly saying, I'm better.
You need to know where you want to go. And then you have to commit to that. If you don't commit to a goal, you're going to be like a ship without a rudder, just spinning in circles, directionless.
You're the captain. Don't give control of this to nobody, especially the devil.
95% of the population are reacting to life. They're not really living at all. A person's successful if they know where they are and they know where they're going and they're progressively moving in that direction. He said that success was the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Anyone that has a goal and they're moving towards it, they're successful.
You can see it and believe it. It is a lot easier to achieve it because so many times people who do that process live in the space of wanting and resisting it instead of writing it, visualizing it, seeing it for yourself, and then letting it go, but moving in the direction of working toward it. So nothing happens at first. It's over the process of the time and the effort and the energy that you put into a thing that the energy comes out.
You've definitely got to have a goal, and when you write it, you've already got it intellectually. Intellectual mind, the second you decide on it, you've got it. It tells you in the Bible, before you speak, I'll hear you. It's because the thought always precedes the word. The second you get emotionally involved, you've got it emotionally. So you've got it intellectually, you've got it emotionally. It's only a period of time till you got it physically.
You have to feel yourself. See, everybody goes, well, you got to visualize being a success. Yes, I think that's important, is to visualize being a success, but you have to feel it emotionally too. I know you think I'm crazy, but it's the joke in life. I'm telling you, it's the joke in life. You can't go to places physically until you go there emotionally and in your mind first.
While you're holding that still, mentally have the idea it's moving back and forth. Mentally have the idea that it's moving. Okay? Don't worry, it'll start moving, and it'll start moving wider and wider. See, it's already doing that. Just change the idea in your mind that instead of swinging it like that, it's going to start swinging like this in a different direction. Now, mentally have the idea that it's going to start making circles. There you are, see? Circles. Now bigger and bigger circles. Your expectancy determines outcome. And as long as you're not attached to the outcome will be guaranteed.
Okay.
Whenever we fulfill a desire, whatever that desire is, certain things happen. Number one, we expect a certain outcome.
Oh, it just
there
switched.
You are.
It
see?
just did it.
See? And this is living proof that every cell in your body is eavesdropping on your internal dialogue.
Visualize something maybe, or you go into deep prayer about this thought that you have. This is what I regard as being a prayer. It's not just talking words. It's about diving in and trying to create that feeling.
Your brain can't distinguish between real experiences that you've lived and the detailed experiences that you have imagined and felt through manifesting. And as you're seeing yourself doing all the work, I want you to feel this sense of pride and excitement.
The key to visualization is, number one, it has to be very vivid. It has to be rehearsed many, many times. And the reason it works is because the brain cannot distinguish between something that's really vividly visualized and something that's real.
We're going to rehearse what you need to do in your mind and your body and your spirit so that when it comes time to do it, you feel like you've actually already done it, which removes your nerves. It's so cool.
Spending your time to already manifest it in the mind as good as you can, meaning make it feelable. Make your thought already start to to go into the area of you can feel it.
Most people tell you what they do. They just think that's what I want, and then they let it go. That's what I want, and then they let it go. Don't let it go. Keep thinking of it. Keep getting emotionally involved. And you know what you're doing? You're planting that beautiful idea here in the garden of your mind. And that's when it turns into a desire. You're on a frequency. Stay on that frequency. You'll attract everything that's on it. How do you think I got here? How do you think I've got to the point I'm at?
You wrote a lot about visualization.
I want to know how the race could go, how I don't want the race to go, and in a perfect world, how the race should go. I started visualizing at like 13, 14, just so everything around me was taken care of when I got to a meet, so I could be completely relaxed. I mean, visualizing just, it just mentally prepares you, and you can kind of check that box off.
So by the time Michael steps up on the block to swim a race in a World Championships or Olympic Games, he's swum that race hundreds of times in his mind before he gets up there. So then when he gets up, all he has to do is shut everything down and it goes on autopilot. His body automatically knows what to do. The brain just switches into what he's visualized. And that's what's really powerful about visualization.
This is something that we talked about a lot as a basketball team, is about how to be in the moment, being able to visualize what might happen in those times. Michael so embraced this, and I think that was the beauty of his game, is that he had all these abilities to adjust, not force his own predetermined idea, but allow those things to come together for his game.
As I go into situations that people don't know the outcome, I've already experienced them in my mind, just playing tricks with myself. So it didn't seem new to me, and I wasn't afraid to fail with it. Once I began to understand that, I became a master of the game of basketball.
Yeah, I believe in manifestation. I believe in putting a rocket of desire out into the universe. Get it when you believe it. You get it when you believe you have it. And that's the key. We sit around going, when's it going to come? 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 And that's the wrong way. You have to go, it's here, it's here, it's here.
There's another thing. What do you want to be? You know, I don't want to be anything. I am everything I want to be. And I'm already there. You know, they're always going to want. I always have the attitude that I have. And I always felt like I was a black belt.
I thought it was amazing too when you were walking in tonight. Like the first time the camera showed you, it seemed like there was just a smile on your face. I mean, here's this pressure-packed situation, and you're just.
I just came to collect my belt. I already won it in the training sessions.
You just won the biggest fight of your career, you know? America doesn't want to hear your thoughts on Jesus, and keep that stuff at home. It's awesome that you love Jesus. Love Jesus all you want.
You just don't have to do it publicly.
People don't want to be preached to.
What happened to you, USA? What happened to you? What's going on? You forget for the best of the best of the world. The name of Jesus Christ. What happened to you? Wake up, USA. Go back for you to go. Go for Jesus. Don't forget Jesus, people.
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Without him, I would be nothing.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much. The first thing I want to say is thank you, God. Everything I have, everything I am, and everything I'm going to be someday, it comes from him, so everything.
Do not let Satan come in here and function and operate, because he has one mission: to keep you off course, to make you not think it's possible, to make you think that God don't hear you. His job is only to destroy you, to make sure that you don't become what God intended for you to become. That's the mission of the devil.
Anything to me that is commercially available for the ants and the NPCs and people whose intentions I don't align with, or whose worldviews I know are corrupted by evil, I'm not going to listen to them.
All our outer nature is wasting away, but our inner nature is being renewed every day. This life, no matter how long it lasts, is a momentary affliction preparing us for eternal glory. And we should pray for an easy life, not the strength to endure a difficult one.
You know the haters, as soon as they hear you say that, they're gonna be like, look at this guy talking about his faith and his Christianity. He's so fake.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You know, Christians are not perfect people. We're just people.
We're in hell right now, gentlemen. Believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell, 1 inch at a time.
Music, what you watch, what you eat, who you hang out with, it's all feeding. It's all feeds. You feed into your ears, you feed into your eyes, you feed into your mouth. So if you fast from certain foods because you know that they're not good for you, why wouldn't you fast from certain music? Why wouldn't you fast from certain things that you are supposed to see? You should fast in all areas of life. It's called discipline. It's called self-regulation. It's what gives you control. It's what gives you power.
You know, no matter what we do, his doors are always open for us. You know, no matter how far away we stray from him at times, his doors are always open for us. And at the end of the day, you know, a Christian is not someone that does everything right. Christians are ultimately sinners, you know, who recognize that they're sinners, and they try to do things a little bit better. But perfect, by any means, I never claim to be.
Because the experience of suffering is the fullest expression of God's love. It is a chance to be closer to Christ.
Truth is, we ain't got no power to do it ourselves. None of us, not a one. It's all God's grace. That's the man right there. You just gotta let him in. He'll do the heavy lifting.
God gave me the leg thing. I gotta tell you, most of those squats I did, I wasn't doing it. It wasn't me. It was God finishing the last 10 reps, okay? Because I don't know, I was done.
It is our weakness that calls forth the grace of God. You show your weakness, He gives us strength.
Suffering is a fact of life. If you look at suffering the right way, it's a great tool to callous your mind. If you look at it as suffering, woe is me, this is bullshit, God kicking rocks. If you look at it like, okay, motherfucker, you're testing me now. I get it. Whenever I'm being like depressed, I go through depressed moments, I go, oh, hang on, I'm getting tested. So you have to be aware of all the signals and signs that are being given to you from the world.
Get yourself together. Transcend your suffering. See if you can be some kind of hero. Make the suffering in the world less. Well, that's the way forward, as far as I can tell, if there is any way forward.
You know something, Father? There's a sign on the wall in my gym back home. Hope is not a tactic. I took that one to heart. Fought for everything I earned. This ain't no different. I think I know what God's doing here. Seeing how I respond, I don't get my way. I got to be honest, I'll be red asked about it. But I ain't giving up. Not on him or me.
When you quit, your mind does this. Because you're out. When you say, fuck you, this sucks, I'm drowning, I'm miserable, I'm suffering, I'm broken, but I'm not going anywhere. What happens to your mind is it does this. It says, fuck, he's not leaving. So we gotta expand. We gotta grow. We gotta figure this fucking thing out.
I love to put myself in uncomfortable situations to where I have to figure it out, have to learn.
I had no coach, had no trainer, had no money. I didn't know how to lose weight. I had no knowledge of what I was doing. I was just working.
One person with belief overrides 100 people with just intent. Intent is thought process, thinking, wargaming it, never putting a foot forward, never putting their face or their name to the fire. Belief is going after and figuring it out along the way.
I was just sacrificing.
That's all it takes, really. Pressure and time.